Alright guys, so today I'm just doing a little quick POV video of my 13 GT500, and I'm gonna drive it around here. It's a nice little spot, I know, and we're gonna try and go over the mod list on this car that I have. Just do a quick little update on what I've done to this car since I've gotten it. But yeah, let's enjoy this beautiful sound, and I'll see y'all when I get there. Alright guys, we are here, and I'm going to see if I can get this to switch up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and go over a quick little mod list on this car. As you can see, well, I don't know if you can tell in the video or not, but I did wash this car and I detailed it, and I applied some wax, some clay bar, some iron removal, and we sealed it off with this McKee's 37 stuff, and it came out real good. I want to say it's probably some of the best stuff I've ever used, especially even just after washing the car. You can already get some of the hydrophobic properties once you've completed washing the car with the car wash shampoo, and then you dry it off with the towel, and it gives you a lot of hydrophobic properties. I really like it a lot. It cleans a lot of the stuff, decontaminates a lot of the stuff really well, and it gives a great shine to it, and then it gives a great feel to it as well. Your hand will just like pretty much glide across the car. First things first, let's go over the wheels. As you can obviously tell, I went ahead and changed these wheels. I did some Shelby 50th anniversary Super Snake wheels, and they're 20 by 9.5 up front and 20 by 11.5 in the rear. A lot of the guys, they do a 305 tire, and that's what I actually had before on the black coated wheels that I had. Same exact wheels, just different color, and had a 305 tire in the back, same exact brand too. It was the NT55 R2s, and it was okay. I mean, it looked really good and I couldn't complain, but I wanted something a little bit more aggressive, so I went with 305 this time, and I can't say I have any regrets. There's no rubbing at all. Everything's perfectly fine with it, and yeah, it bites down really well too. I did have a Corsa Sport axle back before, and I changed it out to the Borla Attacks. I got a good deal on it from a buddy in Houston. He hooked me up with these guys, and they're, oh my god, music to your ears. So I did that. And then obviously in the very beginning I did a couple of video segments of me installing the long tube headers with the off-road X-Pipe from American Racing. So it has full exhaust on it already. If you have a Shelby GT500, you really need to have the long tube headers in order to really enjoy the sound of the car. Otherwise you feel like you're leaving a lot left on the table. And then moving on to the engine bay where the power is at, we have the Ford Racing dual jet throttle body. We have a Steeda intake. I don't remember what exactly millimeter it is. I believe it's a 130 something. I know it's like right above 120, the 127 that everybody usually gets. It's a little bit bigger than that. And then obviously it comes with the same filter from Steeda. Then we have a 2.4 pulley up top. We don't have an underdrive pulley. If we kept that stock, we're not going to be putting too much boost on this car. And then moving on to the coolant reservoir tank. This was done by the previous owner. He had that done at Hennessy Performance. And then also I upgraded the heat exchanger to a Department of Boost Super Single. So I have that in there to help with the cooling issues and to keep those IAT2s down. Then I installed MGW short throw shifter on the car. All right guys, my GoPro video died out and I'm not too sure where I left off, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do this over again. Did an MGW short throw shifter. You know, those guys that have TR6060s, you know the linkage for the shifter can be kind of sloppy. It gives a lot of play, and some people have complained about lockouts. So yeah, I quickly alleviated that issue and I got this MGW, and it's definitely a must for someone who has a GT500. You definitely have to change out the shifter. Next thing I did was get the cartoon by Venomous Tuning. BJ McCarty out there, he's a whiz with that stuff. Got the car running pretty good. Changed out the plugs too. TR6s were in there before and I changed them to BR7EFs. It's a little bit more cooler plug. Gapped them accordingly, you know, to how much boost you're gonna be running. And then I started running into some issues with IATs climbing up, and you know the computer starts to pull timing and all that good jazz. So I changed out the stock heat exchanger. It was my understanding on these cars is that the stock heat exchanger was going to be sufficient and do somewhat okay, but I quickly learned that that wasn't the case. So I changed it out. I got a Department of Boost Super Single from a buddy in north of Austin, Texas. Picked it up, installed it probably the next day, and then changed out the fluids. And ever since then, I haven't had any issues with cooling. The car's been recovering pretty quickly, especially after pulls. So no complaints there. The heat exchanger is doing its job. So that's cooling right there. Aside from that, regarding the aesthetics part of the car, oh, let me backtrack. So when I did install the heat exchanger, I had to take off some of the grommets and baffles for the lower grille and the upper grille, just so that way I wouldn't have to butcher them up. A lot of people will butcher them up, but I didn't want to do that in this case. I wanted to just save them just in case I needed to revert back to stock later on down the road, which I highly doubt I will, but you know, I just want to keep the stuff. So yeah. That's the heat exchanger stuff. And then regarding the aesthetics and cosmetics, I went ahead and changed out the hood prop. I changed it to some hood struts from Redline. You definitely have to do that if you want to go to car shows and stuff like that. You don't really want to have that hood prop sticking out, that hood rod right there, right in the front. It's gonna, you know, be a sore eye. What else did I do? I did these Roush side skirts. I also had the Roush rear bumper skirts, or the splitters is what they call them. Changed those out just because I thought it was a little bit too much. I didn't want to go full out body kit on this car. So yeah, I changed them out, I got rid of them, and I actually traded the rear bumper skirts to this guy for this carbon fiber piece that goes on the rear trunk lid. And I kind of regret doing that because now I see that it has like some little blemishes on the corner and some chips on here. And so it's bothering me now, and I'm starting to think that I'm just gonna get rid of this and buy a brand new one, just because, you know, I don't really like that, and it kind of bothers me. I'm a little bit anal with that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that soon and replace it with another one. And I might start adding a little bit of carbon fiber pieces. I'm not too sure, but that's probably the quick rundown for this car. I haven't really done too much with it. I'm just enjoying it, driving it around. And yeah, I actually have a white line suspension in the rears, an I-block lowering kit. All the stuff that's been done to the car since I've gotten it has been done by me. I don't really take it to shops unless it's something that I really need to take it for or don't have room to do in the garage. So yeah, that's the rundown on this car. If you have any questions, or if you're curious about getting a GT500 and you want a second opinion, or there's some questions you have about it, feel free to shoot me a message, or you can also just drop it down in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple of photos for this thumbnail and drop it in YouTube soon. And until then, I'll catch you on the next one.